Once again, everyone, good morning. We are now into the first session of ours after midterm examination. So, at this point in time, we're going to be dealing with communication for employment. And then we'll be moving on with the other, topics of purposive communication. Into the later discussion, by next week. So, more or less, so our topic for today is about the employment for communication. And to start with, can we have first a prayer? Who will do the prayer?
Ma'am, ako po.
Okay, you may start now.
Okay, let's us pray in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father God, come be with us today. Fill our hearts with joy. Fill our minds with learning. Fill our classrooms with peace. Fill our lessons with fun. Fill our friendships with kindness. Fill our school with love. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much, Celestial. We'll now be moving on. So once again, good morning, everyone. So we're gonna be dealing with now with our topic for today, which is about the employment for communication. So before the midterm examination, I asked you to do the resume. Am I right?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
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 Okay. So
Yes
I
po.
hope everyone already uploaded your resume into your Google Classroom. So everyone, we're gonna be moving on. So the one that you had, which is about the resume, is part of our, activity for the employment of communication. That's why I asked you already to do it beforehand, so that you will know what are the things that you need to really consider before coming up with that resume. Since you have already come up already with your resume, so definitely you're gonna be looking back and then trying to look into what you have prepared and what are the missing parts, and also what are the missing information or if there are inconsistencies. Okay, so are you ready now for our next topic?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
po,
Yes.
ma'am.
Po.
Okay, so we'll now be
Po,
moving,
ma'am.
everyone. So our topic for today again is about the employment for communication. Just wait for a while. Where is it? So everyone, we're gonna be dealing with employment for communication. Can you see already my slide?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, po,
Okay.
ma'am.
So again, our next topic is about the employment for communication. So we're gonna be dealing with this one. So let's now move on. So here for the employment of communication, we're gonna be dealing with the resume, the cover letter, and of course, when you have already your interview and some follow up of it, and also the etiquette when you are dealing with if you are already employed or currently finding a job. Okay, so we'll now be moving on. So these are the or this is the sample of the format of the resume. And I know you have already presented and uploaded some of the your resume. But if you're gonna be looking at this one, this is just a sample. But this is not the prescribed format. Okay. If you're gonna be looking into other resumes that you have, uploaded or you have checked into the Google Classroom or check into the different browser, the name that you have there is at the center. For the other format, the name is at the left side. Okay, so you need to look into really a simple font and design features. You need to make or you need to find a formal feature of your resume, because basically that is a document for work, so therefore it should be in a formal one. So another one is you need to look into also the clear dates in reverse or chronological order. So what do you mean by chronological order? You start with the present and then to the oldest. The recent one going to the oldest. So another one, you need to easy to scan the headings and bullets. If there are like work history or like for example your educational background, that is where you put bullets, so that I mean, remember that resume is really the market of yours. So how are you going to sell yourself? So that is what you mean by resume, understand? So basically this document will help you and land on a job that you prefer. Okay, and not only with that, but your resume will also look into what value do you have and what worth do you have. Okay, so that is again a resume that will really sell you and really give you a job. Because if your resume doesn't have anything to sell, of course they will not hire you. That is the importance of resume. And second one is that when you try to look into a resume that is uh, nothing to read about you, therefore, I mean, if I will be an employer, I will not hire you because you have, I mean, lacking of skills that eventually will not be an asset to our company. So again, try to look into how are you going to make your resume, I mean, something like selling, attractive in a way that you're attracting them with skills. However, on the other hand, there are some also resume that, ma'am, why is it there are some resume that it's so creatively presented? If the job that you are looking for is somewhat in line with digital one, or in terms of creative designer, or like that one, wherein they are looking also into how creative you are in terms of presenting your resume. But if you're just gonna be looking for a job that is into a company where it's more of formal and nothing about arts, definitely you just need to create a resume that is a formal one. So into a formal one, there are some that they try to put their names at the side, I mean at the left side, and then put their picture at the right side. Okay, that's why we do have different formats of the resume. However, you try to look into which is more appealing and which is more formal. Can you follow?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, so let's now move on.
Oh, ma'am.
So if you have anything to ask, just I mean, turn on your audio or microphone, because I cannot see the other, I mean, other tab, because I'm really looking into the presentation. So another formatting, when formatting your resume, you need to create really a clear description of action verbs. So what do you mean by that one? If you're gonna be looking into the skills, okay? So if you are if there is a part in your resume wherein you're going to show your skills, like your I mean computer literate, like that, it should be in terms of action verbs. Okay, so there are also in terms of languages and other interests. Make sure that your other interest has something like related to the work that you are applying for, and make sure that the resume that you're having is 100% accurate. Okay, so let's move on. So these are the content of a resume, and this one varies depending on the format. Okay, but usually the first part of your resume are the following. You start with the contact information, wherein there is a picture of yours, below is your address, including your email ad, and also your phone number. And then followed by your educational background, wherein this includes your college, your major, your degree, and also the date of graduation. In the case of yours, dahil hindi pa naman kayo tapos, basically, you're just going to write there the day, I mean, the year that you started to present. So if you're in your college, you just write there, anong date ka nag-start. I mean, year nag-start. So 2022, like July 2022 to present. Understand? If it's still in current. Okay? But for the others, like your elementary, and then your high school, your junior high school and senior high school, of course, it's done already. So therefore, there is already, I mean, the tenuity of the year already. So what year did you start? I mean, schooling with your elementary, the high school, and then the college. Make sure that the educational background should start with the recent one, going to the oldest one. Okay, recent to oldest. It's the same thing with the work experience. Usually, if you're going to create a, or if you try to add experience into your resume, for example, if you're gonna be having already a job, or like you had your part-time with you, make sure that the ones that you put into your resume are somewhat like related to the job that you're taking. Second is that make sure that the job has like 1 year and above. I mean the experience, because now they don't regard the 1 year and below experience. Okay, so you start with the company, the job title. I mean the job title is your position. You have your responsibilities and achievements, and then the date of employment. Okay, so later on I'll be showing you the example of a resume of mine, and then try to look at it. Okay, so let's move on. So if the other skills would help you to get the job, you can also add this one. Okay, but more or less, other employees and other employers would like to look into also your other skills, because you can be an asset to their company. In terms also of that, the duties and responsibilities are not limited, and therefore they can give you other skills that would engage you with um, other, higher responsibility. Like, for example, the computer, wherein you will be engaged with utilizing computer. If you have the special skills for hosting, or if you have the special skills for um, other test the certificates, you can also add it there. Okay? So, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's move on. So these are the tips for including work experience. As what I have told you, you need to create a chronological resume style. So from the recent one going to the oldest. And you need to provide complete information about your work history. You need to show how your work experience qualifies you for the specific job. And you need to use concrete achievement-oriented words to describe your experience, so that you will have the overview of what are the things that you can do, okay, and what you have done into the company. Okay, next one is the specific. You need to stress a specific accomplishment directly related to the job. So for example, you have some ano ito? If you have some like mga trainings that you think it is another, achievement and accomplishment that would really, be helpful and beneficial of the job that you have taken, you need to add it there. And also, you need to include relevant unpaid position. So, what you mean by unpaid position? And these are mga designations. Understand? So, this designation would help them to know if you have the leadership style of skills, if you have the financial aspect or communicative aspect, wherein that designation would eventually help them to really look into what kind of job, or if the job fits on you. Understand? Ito tatandaan guys, everyone ha. When you submit your resume, of course, they will not yet talk to you. In short, wala pang interview. There's no interview yet to be done. So therefore, you're just sending first and selling yourself through a document. So therefore, make sure that the document that you are submitting to the employers are basically sellable. What do you mean by sellable? It really comes with something that the employer would look forward to. However, ma'am, gusto ko kasi talaga matanggap sa trabaho. But the problem with that is, baka naman, the things that you put into your resume is already something like false information. And therefore, magkakaroon kayo ng technicality with that. Because here at the resume, there is a character reference. So what do you mean by character reference? Character references are people that your employer can talk with and something like interview them about you, to really check if the information that you have put into your resume are true and credible. Understand? So again, that's the tips for including work experience. Again, make yourself really sellable to the employers. Therefore, you will fit the job. And actually, that's really, I mean, the really the core of you taking or studying, because you really want to land a job. You want to have a money, right? Napaka-ipokrita naman natin kung hindi tayo, I mean, magtatrabaho tayo with free. I mean, uh, free of service. So therefore, if I will give up, I mean, if I will pay for your service and if I will pay for your skills, therefore, the skills should be something like really, I mean, valid, really something like competent, so that you can be an asset to our company, and it's a win-win, because in a company also we are also earning, and we are also I mean, we need money. So therefore, your skills should be really an asset to us, and therefore we can come up with network of money out of you. Okay? So let's move on. So these are the concise bullets like that. Again, there are some resume that really comes with they are asking for the activities that you have done into that job. However, on the other hand, there are some also resume that they don't put anymore that, I mean, specific activities that you have done into that job. Okay? So, what are the advantages of having a supplemental traditional resume? The advantage of having the online resume is that we could see already what kind of person are you in terms of your skills. Okay? That's why if we're really talking about really in terms of something like sellable, you really need to put the skills of yours, and also you really need to put also your certification if you have. Okay? So if it's in an online resume, however, we try to look it into if you want to apply with foreign lands and all. That's the advantage of that one. Another is you're not gonna be do the walk-in already applicant, which is napakapagod if it's a resume one. However, the good thing about naman with traditional resume is that it's uh you can easily see if they are in hiring. Okay? Another, you can have like a touch of like talking to the manager, and they will see already, I mean, the total you when you are, I mean, submitting your resume in a walk-in applicant. How on the other hand, if it's an online resume, it's easy for you to, I mean, apply to every company, since now we are already digitalized one. Okay? So it's easy for you, and another, it can be editable. Second is that you can apply for 1,000 companies and you're just waiting. Unlike in the traditional resume, it takes effort, it takes time, it takes money and all. Unlike in online resume. The next one also, however, we do have also, in addition, is about the video resume. Usually, the video resume is a kind of resume that really something like looking into how good are you in terms of your communication, and how are you going to sell yourself also in terms of, verbal. Okay, so that's the video resume. However, the disadvantage of that one is there's no, I mean, second, I mean, retake and all, because this is live for the video resume. Okay, so let's move on. So these are the next one that we're gonna be dealing with is the cover letter. There are some, I mean, jobs that they don't require for a cover letter. However, for the others, they do require a cover letter. Ma'am, ano po ang laman ng cover letter? Cover letter is basically the application letter that you're going to, I mean, write to give it to the employer. So for example, me, I had my cover letter for my application to Marinduque State College, wherein it shows your interest in the company of the position. It highlights your background, that you have the expertise, and also you have a background, I mean, work experience that has a relationship with the job that you are applying for. and also it reveals a bit of your personality, demonstrate your type of writing, and also it provides employer with logistical information. However, we are already into the digital one, so therefore we have what we call as email. Here at email, unlike in the cover letter, it's so long, right? But in the email, I mean the employer preferred to have a short email that will really just comprise, I mean, that will just really have a content of what, I mean, what are you, I mean, purpose of applying, and how can you be an asset to the, I mean, to the job that you're landing for. Okay, so again, either way, the cover letter as a traditional one or the email. Okay, but this cover letter and email would really, I mean, for email, it's easy for you to have a feedback letter if they have an opening position for that. That's the advantage of it. Next. So what includes a cover letter or email? So of course, you have the standard letter format. So you have the salutation, the inside address, the date, like that, and of course the body, and also the other parts of a letter. So here you need to use a standard letter format. And then the next one is you need to keep your opening short and not too much flowery of words, but you need to directly present what's your purpose of writing and then explain your interest in the job. Okay. But anyway, I'll be sending you a copy also of an application letter, so that you will have an idea on how are you gonna do it. And later on, I will ask you to do that also. Okay? Is it clear? Any question? May tanong ba?
Wala po.
Okay. So let's now move on. So next one is you need to expand and I mean a relevant experience. You need to use a standard closing. So don't use usually if you're coming up with a cover letter, you use all only the following: the sincerely, the very truly yours. Understand? But don't write like your love, like that, and the other, I mean the other closing remarks words, because you are, since you are writing a cover letter for an employment, so therefore this should be a standard one. Okay, and also you need to look also, and then you need to also put the information wherein you're asking for an interview for their perfect time. Okay, so that would be included at one. So next, so how are you going to find networking contacts? So here, what do you mean by finding network contacts? Meaning, how are you going to search a job? We have, I mean, different websites like the jobstreet.com or they're like trabajo.com, or you can also check the school's alumni database, wherein different schools have, I mean, their own network from the different companies that they are looking for something like that, and all. Understand? Or you can also check from the friends, from the family or company's website or articles about the company. In my case, when uh I mean a fresh graduate, of course, if you're a fresh graduate, of course, it's hard for you to really find a job. Since I'm a teacher, I'm a BS Ed major in English, and I still don't have a license that time. I am the schools that can only accept me is the private school, of course, right? Since I'm a graduate of at Technological Institute of the Philippines and I'm staying at Manila, so therefore, the only way that I can find a job is a private school, because a public school cannot hire me because I don't have a license. So therefore, what I did is I tried to check the website of, I guess, DepEd. Is it DepEd? Yeah, basta I checked the schools, I mean the website where I can find all the schools in Manila. And then we have a telephone way back then, so I tried to call them through the telephone, and then try to call the letter A school. I mean the name of the school is letter A up to really M. And the one that I landed is Marian School of Quezon City. You look at the really the I mean the letters, of the names of the schools na nagland ako sa Marian School of Quezon City na nagsimula ang paghanap ko will be on from letter A going to M. So that's really a tedious tiresome job. Tiresome activity when you really wanted to find a job. Because way back then, though I can be a call center agent, however, my brothers would not encourage me to do a call center agent because at call center agent, there's a inconsistency of sleep and all. You're gonna be select like that, and also therefore I was not encouraged to work in a call center call center company. So therefore, I ask since I am into the profession of teaching, so therefore I need to really land a job that is related to the course that I am taking. That I have taken. So that one. And but actually before I had my teaching position in Marian School of Quezon City, I had first I took first my job hunting into online teaching. Are you familiar with online teaching?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes.
So online teaching are basically it's a company wherein they hire teachers to be online teachers and then teaching Koreans, right? And I don't know why. When I stroll Makati just to find a company with online teaching and be accepted like that. So I had my was this my award way back then that like cum laude and all. So I feel like I was confident that I will land a job already in a just a click. So what I did, I went to the I also checked the emails and all and then check the Google and all to really apply, and then someone will message me that you are for an interview and all. So I did. I had my first interview, second interview, third interview, and I don't know why in my final interview they don't accept me, and they are telling me that I'm not pleasing to look. I look like daw matara, I look like daw suplada, and also one of the requirements of a Korean company in terms of English teaching, online English teacher, ay kailangan daw that the teachers are very friendly, they look friendly, even the voice look friendly and all. And maybe they don't see that to me. So therefore, I tried to search a job and all, and I have already like five job application with online teaching. And then I asked God, I'm really tired of like walking already at Makati. They're not accepting me. I'm already at the final interview and didn't yet get the job. So what did I do? I feel like I lost already my confidence in taking a job, in taking that job. So what I did, that's the second option that I did talaga, is really look into all schools in Manila. That's my last resort. And then I said, I told myself that if I still didn't get that job, looking for schools in Manila and all, I will really end up going to a call center because that's my last resort, because I want to have a job and of course I want to have a money. So so and then I call letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D and all. And I'm also looking into which place or job place is somewhat near to our house, because I will be like having a problem naman with my budget if and also of course the effort, and of course the traffic in Manila. So that's why I'm also looking into what job will accept me. Second, of course, the proximity of the workplace of mine to my house. And of course, the third one is of course the salary. Because but before that, I'm still not looking into the salary. I just want to have a job, because way back then, my brothers and sisters are already telling me, ay nako, araw-araw na lang palamunin and all. So I kinda feel like disheartened with that one and trying to push myself really to have a job because they are not giving me any more money because I'm done already with schooling. So therefore, I really need to provide myself. So that one. So again, I'm trying to give you my experience so that you will know how are you going to find your network contacts. Because here in Marinduque, it's easy if you have your friends, if you have your family, kakilala nito, kakilala ng ganyan. However, if you are gonna be working and then finding a job in Manila, you really need to look into, the last resort that you can have is really, the browser. You need to look into the jobstreet.com and any other websites that offers, list of jobs and all. So that's how are you going to find your network contacts. Okay? So next one is the interview. Of course, from the resume, going to the cover letter, and then the second one is trying to look for really a place or opportunity where you can send your resume and cover letter. These are the types of interview questions. So in short, this is where you have already received an information that you will have an interview. Okay. We do have four types of interview questions. The first one is the standard question. Second one is the behavioral question. And the third one is a case question. And the fourth one is the stress question. So what do you mean by standard? Standard are basically your personal information. So, like for example, tell me about yourself. Like, I am Maria Jessica Alcimilia. I am like this years old. I'm a graduate of like that, from Technological Institute of the Philippines and all like that. That's the standard. Next one is the behavior. So, behavioral is about the asking of specific questions about your past behavior to predict future performance. Wherein, they are asking about what qualities of yours are into working. So how could that help the company? Okay, so that's the thing. And then the third one is about the case. They will ask you a case or a situation and how are you going to adapt to that situation. So for example, if you're applying for a service crew, of course they will ask what if there is a customer raising their emotions and having a problem with the one that they have ordered and they are getting angry at you, how are you going to act on it? So that is what you mean by case. So again, it's a case question because they are giving you a situation and how are you going to adapt on it. Okay. Next one is the stress. This one is a simulation of a stressful environment. So what do you mean by a stress question? This is where the employer would ask you to do some simulation or an act or a role play of how are you going to do a certain situation and how are you going to respond. Okay. So those are the types of interview questions. So let's move on. So here, the behavioral interview questions, these are the competency relationship building. So this is also competency problem solving decision making. So as what I have told you, like for example, the employer would ask you, please tell me about the best working relationship you ever had. So please describe a time what you had to work with someone you didn't like. Describe a time when it was a particularly difficult for you to gain credibility with someone. What did you do? So again, this is a case to case also situation. However, they are looking into how are you going to respond with the situation based on your values. So that is what you mean by behavioral interview question. So describe a problem you've had on the job and how you went about solving it. So again, they are trying to look into what behavior are you going to present to the employer. Because of course, everyone sa ating kayong mga hindi pa nagtatrabaho, of course, if I am an employer, really, I want to have a skillful employee. However, one of the most important thing also, accepting, employee in my company, of course, is not only that they are skillful, but also they are morally upright. Second one is someone that can be, I mean, the other employees can go along with, because of course you're not the only one who's working into the company. You're gonna be working also with the other employees, and if you cannot adapt to their culture, you cannot adapt to their attitude and or all, of course there'll be chaos into the company itself. That's why they're very particular with how you behave in the company. Understand? So next one. So the next one is a STAR. This is a behavioral interview response. What do you mean by situation or task? This one is when you try to answer a question that is a behavioral interview question, you need to tell us first here's the situation. So, hi ma'am, good morning. If there will be a chaos and like that, my action will be like this. And therefore, through that action, the result will be like this. And now, if that action will not be going with that, we'll have a plan B like that. So again, STAR is a behavioral interview response. So in short, you need to look into that process. So if there is a behavioral question asking about how are you going to behave, you start first. I mean, answering the question with a situation. You tell us, you lay down to the interviewer what is the situation and what will be your action and what result are you looking forward to. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next one. So, I know kasi anak, Baels, I don't know. Of course, we are expecting that all of you will really graduate Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies, of course, right? And of course, we're expecting also that if not all of you will be teachers, of course, some of you will be really going to the company itself, right? So therefore, you really need to look into how are you going to really respond. Because kunyari, ngayong summer, you want to get a part-time job, part-time job. So definitely, you're gonna be undergoing in this one. But if you're just gonna be like finding a job being a yaya and all, of course, wala nang ganyan, right? Kung ikay magbabagero and all, wala nang ganyan. But if you're gonna be applying for a company, a formal company, of course, you need to have like that, and you're going to experience like that. Did you understand? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So next one is we have also what we call the video and phone interview. So like this, the ones that we have, the platform of Google Meet, the platform of Zoom, and all. That's for the video interview. And usually, video interviews happen when if you're applying for a job in the foreign land, or if there is a situation that the HR cannot have. Cannot have an interview. Like for example, me when during the pandemic time, I'm really looking into what job do I need to have so that I'll be busy, right? Because way back in the pandemic, we have like lots of months where we are resting. So therefore, I'm looking for, can I be an online teacher like that? How, and that employer asking me to have a video interview. So whenever we're having a video interview, of course, you're having your camera. So therefore, before having an interview, you need to have or make sure that the place that you're dealing with are something like there is an elimination of noise and distraction. And you need to prepare a neat, professional looking workspace. So dress as you would for an in-person interview. Usually, they do yung mga naka-coat or something like naka-dress or something like, as long as the dress of yours is not too revealing. Okay. So sa mga lalaki, of course, hindi kayo allowed na kayo naka-t-shirt. You can either wear a 3/4 long sleeve or a long sleeve having a tie. Understand? No need to have the coat itself. Okay? Because usually the coat itself is being into really a formal one. But now in a job interview, you can have already, or video or phone interview, you can have already the long sleeve. So in your job interview with our face to face, of course, I would be really looking into how you look. That's why I'm trying to discuss this with you. So another also, you need to practice with a friend, checking your light, checking your sound, checking your internet, so that there will be no really problem when there is already your interview with you, because you have only like 5 to 10 minutes to do the interview, and therefore you need to come up with really a good a good review to your employer, so that you will get the job. So if that's the case that you don't really check everything before coming into the interview, therefore there will be a problem. So another one is also, when you try to answer a video and phone interview, you need to consider short responses. Short responses that would mean directly answering the question. Understand? You don't need to say or tell a story if they just ask you to tell you. For you to tell a story, but definitely make sure that your answer is brief, concise, and meaningful. Baka naman brief siya, concise, pero hindi niyo naman nasagot yung question. So try to look into the shorter response, but you have answered the question. So for example, the interviewer asked you about telling about yourself. You don't need to tell that you're mahirap or whatsoever. You just tell us is uh what is about you, like for example your name, your age, your bachelor's degree, what are you indulging with, that you think yung telling about yourself would really help them to get a gist of you, and then at the same time would really be the things about you will be beneficial to the company. Naintindihan ba? So more or less yan, ang phone and video interview will last like 10 or 15 minutes. That's why when you try to express yourself, express it brief. Express it really in direct manner. Okay? So next one. So before going into the interview and all, you need to prepare your own questions so that you will know how are you going to respond it. So I know we have already, tackled about the voice aggregators, right? Like that. It's okay to have that voice aggregators, but make sure that it's not too long, because the voice aggregators it's a technique that will help you to really think of what could be the answer of the question. So again, before coming into the interview, you need to really look into what what questions may be thrown to you. And therefore, these are the sample questions, like how would you describe a typical day on your job? What opportunities exist? Ongoing training and development? Why did you choose to work here and what keeps you here? What is the first problem the person you hire must attend to? What makes someone successful in this position? What are the organizations? What do you see as the biggest opportunities and challenges for this division and company? So again, and also, aside from preparing your own question, you need to really look also in terms of look at the background of the company that you are applying for, because it will easily help you to really look into what services are they offering, what clients are they indulged with, and therefore it's easy for you to look and imagine the questions that they will be throwing to you on the interview. Okay, next one. So another for dress, though for some it's not important, but for an employer, it is important. You need to choose a well-tailored, clean, conservative outfit for the interview. Because sabi nga nila, first impression lasts. Okay. However, it's not true all the time. However, if I am an employer and I see how you look, definitely I am already, sabi nga ng mga kabataan, judgeries ka na. So, you are judging the person on how they look, because they are not yet asked to really say something first. So therefore, if you think that person are somewhat lousy, not really looking into how they look and all, of course you as an employer would not really interested on accepting the person. That's why for the female, you need to put a light makeup to, I mean, if you're gonna be getting a job interview. While for the boys, of course, some of them they try to put some pomade or they are trying to put some wax and all. So again, you need to choose a dress that is conservative but not too conservative. Okay, that we have that conservative and not too conservative. Okay, conservative in a way that of course we don't see like ng mga suso-suso or whatsoever, o kaya ay walang mga bila-bila sa mga ulo-ulo ninyo, because if we see like bila-bila, ay ano ba to, crazy and all. So again, try to present yourself like a formal one. Okay, na really, I mean, we see you that you are working already. Okay? So next one, while for the boys, of course, no piercing. If you have tattoos with you, make sure that you cover it up, because though we are not stereotyping that if you have tattoos and all, you're bad. Of course not. It's just that there are some people that they have that kind of notion. So therefore, since you want to get a job, you just need to, I mean, just prepare yourself. So next one. So these are the possible communication background. So has this happened to you? What can you do about it? So you receive just a form letter after the initial application, or you receive no response after a screening or first interview, and you receive no response after a second or a third interview. Usually, kapag sinabi ng iyong employer na pinag-apply niyo will just call you, huwag ka na masyadong umasa nun. Pero 'pag sinabing ay, "We'll see you this Monday," meaning tanggap ka na. So, try to look into that one also. So, again, these are the possible communication breakdown. When if you have, I mean, landed a job already, that's why try to look for other opportunities also. So, kapag ang sinabi sa inyo ay, "We'll just call you," huwag ka na masyadong umasa. Okay? So, let's move on. So after the interview, you need to look into also of considering you try to call them after sending your resume or after the interview, or and then respond to a request for an interview. So that's for the follow up. So another is you can also immediately following the interview critic your performance, your resume, and your cover letter. And also if the interviewer already received your application, of course, they will be sending you an email. Thank you so much. We have accepted. I mean, we have received already your resume and all and application. We are looking forward for an interview with you on the day. Okay. So next one. So we'll now be moving on to the etiquette. So etiquette is also part of the employment communication or communication for employment. So usually here the confirmed dietary, we have the before meal, the during meal, and then the after meal. So like that. So here usually the dining etiquette would happen if you are already hired into the organization or into the company. So those are the things. And I know you're very familiar with that one, because one of the values of Filipino that we have is pakikisama. So, like that, staying engaged in conversation, no taking leftover homes, and then thanking the pair and all. So, next one is managing your online reputation. One also of the technique of the employer is they try to check your Facebook page. Kaya nga, napaka-importante also ng inyong Facebook page, because your social media reflects who you are. Understand? I know you are still bata pa, or like may mga teenagers pa sa inyo and all. But as you try to go and become older, tingnan nyo ulit yung inyong page. Di ba nagbabago? So therefore, when you are already, I mean, getting a job and finding a job, make sure na yung Facebook ninyo ay something like it's limited already. Though there are some posts and all that would help you, or that's the you. I know that's the real you. However, some employers are also checking your Facebook page. and they already have the idea of what kind of person you are depending on the Facebook page that you have. So try to look into ano to, try to look into also the things that you post. So, make sure na hindi kayo nakikipag-away sa Facebook kasi makikita yun ng employer ng I mean, future employers ninyo na, "Ay, ganun pala ito siya, ganyan, palengkera sa Facebook and all, getting our youth in use of social media to burst their emotions and all," like that. So, try to manage your privacy setting, avoid posting questionable content, post positive content that shows your strength. So that, in short, your Facebook account also sells you, or your Instagram account also sells you. So therefore, now that you're going into the professional field, make sure that your Facebook also has like that. Okay? So, I mean, you're getting formal and formal unless hanggang dyan na lang kayo. And you're more of emotions, more of emotions, more of emotions. Not really looking into, I mean, managing it and handling it. Because as adult, you need to know how to manage and also handle your emotions. Or else, malulunod kayo. Okay? Now, let's move on. So, these are the working and office etiquette. So, always knock on your coworker's cubicle, never shout, do not leave valuables, avoid talking, avoid eavesdropping. Bawal daw marites. Pero, that's the most fun thing that we do at work, the eavesdropping and conversation and marites. Okay? So let's move on. So I guess that would be all for the etiquette. Now I'll be showing you already. Now, do you have any question? Any question, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to ask po about po dun sa resume.
Okay.
Ah, ano po ay ang is it acceptable if the resume has some yung naka-highlight po ang colors? Like that the titles and the headings are in different colors po.
That one, it's okay as what I'm telling you. It's okay if you're applying for a creative artist. That's fine with that. But if you are applying for really a formal job to be taken, usually ang ginagamit lang is black and white.
Eh how about po if you are applying for a hotel for example, hotel
Pag hotel,
management job?
ganun pa rin yun. Pag hotel, ang ginagamit pa rin ay black and white.
Okay po.
Oh.
Thank you.
Pero pag kunyari, di ba merong mga job na you're a digital artist, right? So
Yes,
if you're
ma'am.
applying for a digital artist and the employer would like to see you how are you going to be creative with presenting your resume, that's the thing. You have the black, the white, and the other things. Okay. Like for example, with Sir Kevin also. Sir Kevin is an IT. He is a graduate of MIS, Master of Arts, I guess. MIS pala. Master of Information System. So, I asked him, why is it your resume is like that? Because I am an MIS. And so, I'm into technology. So therefore, as a part of into technology, you need to be good as an artist also. So how are you going to make? Because he got a different way on how he presented his resume. Understand? So again, as what I'm telling you, it depends on what job are you applying for. You can be creative on the resume as long as the thing or the job that you are applying for is somewhat into creativity. But if they are not into a creativity like designing and all, you don't need to have it. You just may need to make it formal. Okay? Anyone or meron pa kayong tanong that you want to ask? Okay. This point in time, I'll be showing you an example of my resume. Just wait for a while. So that you will know, I'm not eto, this one is my resume way back 2018 pa pala 'to. Just wait for a while. Okay. I'll be showing you last time I had my application like I just tried applying for a job in Japan and all. And this is their kind of resume. An English teacher in Japan. Where is it? Can you see it right there? So this is how they do it in terms of can you see it right there?
Yes po.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
that
ma'am.
is how they do it when it's an application with Japan. So way back then, I still have only my master's. So like that, the personal information, the educational. So you see, there is a chronological order. So from master's, meaning the present one, going to your college, and then going to your secondary. Because us, we don't have the monthly senior high school and secondary. I mean junior high school. So we have like that, and the teacher's license if you have. And this is what I'm telling you, yung brief summary of your performance of that work of yours. Minsan nagaganyan sila, pero minsan wala naman 'to. Depende nga sa company that you are applying for. And also they have their own format. Hindi ka basta-basta maglalagay ng resume. Understand? If I'm just pertaining if it is in a foreign country. If you want to apply, they have a specific format with that. As part of the requirement or as part of posting their job also, they have that kind already na pinopost din nila yung format nung resume. Okay? So, can you follow? Ayan, ganyan ang itsura. Hanggang sa may professional references ka. So, anong ibig sabihin ng professional references? As what I'm telling you, professional references are also called character references. Ngayon, para po saan yan? So, kunyari, ako, nilagay ko dun yung mga nasa resume ko. So, definitely, the organization or the company will be calling Mama Daya if the information that I have put into the resume of mine is true. So therefore, they're gonna be calling it. I mean, they're gonna be calling her. Understand? So that one,
Yes.
yun yung pang foreign. So I'll be showing you another one na ito lang yung ginagamit ko kapag yung usual job. Uh, can you see it right there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yan yung sample ko way back. Ano ba to? Way back 2020? Kasi eto, kagagraduate ko lang 'to ng ano ata, ng Marinduque State, I mean ng language teaching ko na my master's, yeah. So that one, so as what I'm telling you, yung iba nilalagay nila sa side. Ito kasi yung format ng TIP way back then. That's why I just utilize their format in the resume. Kasi before we graduate in TIP, we have this requirement that we need to pass a resume to our I don't know to our alumni association, wherein that resume of ours will be submitted to different companies that will hire us. So ganun ang ginagawa nila. So before as part of the clearance and all, they have that kind. Understand? So just wait lang ha. I'll just get my Now, again, way back in college, we have this kind of requirement that before leaving TIP, we need to submit as part of our clearance to TIP that we need to submit these resume to the Alumni Association so that if there are opening jobs, the company, the TIP will email us because they have already the sample of our resume that they are sending it into the different companies. So yun, ganon. So like that, ganyan lang yung sample ng TIP. So if you're gonna be looking at it, this is more of outline. So the working experience, the personal background. For the others, they have the character references. Later naman, I will show you naman yung may objectives. Okay? So this one naman, yan yung may objectives, this one. So usually like that. Way back then kasi, ito kasing resume ko na to, way back, ano pa ba to? Way back, ano ba to? Parang nagsisimula pa lang ako kaya ganyan ang pang mga mga outline. Can you see it right there?
Yes, ma'am.
So like that. And then the objectives, the education, the working experience, the on-the-job training if you have with you, the seminars and trainings. Kaya napaka-importante na kayong mga college ay may mga seminars and trainings. Kasi fresh grad kayo, right? So of course, since you're a fresh graduate, you should have a seminars and trainings and you need to keep those certificates so that when you apply for a job, you have indicated your seminars and trainings that you have undergone those things. Understand? So like that, the achievements, the skills and interests, the affiliation. Affiliation is about your organization. If you have an organization that you joined and all, you add it there. Personal qualities, a personal background, and the character references. Can you follow? Usually, pag character references, you choose somewhat higher with you. And usually, yan yung mga boss mo. So, if you, for your case, kung fresh grad kayo, edi yung mga dean ninyo. Understand? And you should have a number for that also. Okay? Question.
Ma'am, may I ask po?
Malumanag.
Kailangan po ba ng objectives po lagi sa resume?
Usually, kapag sa mga pag-apply and all, yung kasing sa language teacher ko, language editor, hindi na nila kailangan daw ng objectives. But most of the time, kailangan may objectives. And usually, kapag objectives, it should be pertaining to the job that you are applying for. Yun dapat ang objectives nun. Did you understand? So again,
Yes, ma'am.
you need to put objectives still because that's really part of the parts of the resume. Okay? Any question? Now, I will, do you still have any question before I proceed with the another presentation?
Nana po.
Who's that? Thomas.
Ma'am, yun sa yun sa achievements po or example po yung katulad po is student lang po ako or let's say pong wala pa po akong na-achieve masyado sa buhay. Ano pong pwedeng maging po doon?
Pwede yun anak, like for example, kunyari, nag-join ka sa short and sweet play. Ganon. O kaya, achievement yun, kasama yun. If you're into sports, you want to put it in the achievement, pwede din yun. You become the best researcher, pwede din yun. Kasi way back when I was in college, marami kami yan. Marami kaming napapanood, like, kunyari, best researcher kami, ano to, impromptu speaker, best in impromptu speaker. You can put it also in the achievement. Kasi fresh grad kayo eh. So we are expecting, I mean the employer is expecting na ganun ang mga laman ng inyong resume. Unlike kapag you're already into to the workplace for how many years, yan eh, yung mga outstanding, ganyan-ganyan. You have the outstanding leadership like that. So you have a different kind of awards and certificate. That's why it's very important. Ewan ko ba bakit sa inyo, I mean, this my year kasi eh. Pero dapat kayo ay maraming seminars and trainings, marami kayong mga competition na sinasalihan, because yung competition nyo would add to your resume. Because you need to be sellable eh. So in short, if there will be a case na kunyari, ma'am, ayoko na pong mag-aral and all, and I want to take a job and land a job. Definitely, kailangan yung resume nyo sellable. Second, you need to be good in speaking, of course. That's the key. Not only with speaking, speaking with content. Meron kasi sa inyo, magaling lang magsalita, pero wala masyadong laman ang salita. You get what I mean? You need to be good in speaking with thought and speaking with wisdom. Understand? Because that's the key of landing to a job. So again, that's why kapag may mga competition here in MSc, mag-join kayo so that you can be, of course, that's an opportunity. Second is you can put that into your resume. Okay? Any question? So, kunyari, kung ako ay welder, ang course ko ay mechanical technology, meron pa competition ang Marinduque State College about welding and all. Sumali ako. Dinagdag ko sa resume ko. Ikaw pala yung nanalo sa, kunyari ako ang employer, ikaw pala yung nanalo sa mga ganyan. Ano naman yung sinalihan mong yon? So, it could be one of the topics that we're gonna be talking about. So for example, me, I get the award of best researcher best researcher of Technological Institute of the Philippines. And then of course, nung unang saba ko when I'm applying for a job, so you are a researcher. It's according to your resume. What is the topic of study that you had? How do you think it could be helping into the institution? So like that. So yung mga achievements mo could help the institution that you are applying, and then at the same time would let them see who are you. Kaya dapat yun may mga achievements yun. Kung wala, that's fine. Pero at least kung kaya mo naman, go. Because eventually it will you'll be marketable. Meron kasing mga tao, katulad sa amin sa TAP. TAP is not really so good with, TAP is for engineering, way back then. So TAP is not really good with speaking. They're good in skills and all. So one of the problems with, one of the concerns and issues of our graduates in TIP are, they're good engineers, but they're not good in speaking. So what TIP did is they crafted with a workshop of communication that before leaving TIP, they need to have or undergo a communication seminars, trainings, and all. Parang yun ay parang 2 months na they need to undergo that. And therefore, marketable na siya kasi may skill siya, may communication pa. And meron kami nung kunyari kapag may department week, department week, na merong nagkikater mga skills na nananalo sila. So we have that kind. I know MSc have that also, but I don't know with Institute of Arts and Social Sciences since I'm still new. Okay? Now, any question that you want to ask? So that you are ready after the holidays for the job interview. Expect the unexpected, ah. I will not be giving you the questions. So, meaning, expect that there will be questions that will be thrown to you that you were not, uh, I mean, informed. Lumanog, question.
Ma'am, if I'm a student pa rin po and I want to, I apply for a job po. Tapos po ay, meron po kasi mga work experiences po dun.
Mm.
Ay, paano po ma'am pag wala po?
Pag wala, you just remove that part. Yun ang sinasabi ko sa mga estudyante ko eh. Kapag wala pa kayong work experience, you just remove that part. Pero kunyari, ma'am, ako po yung nag-student assistant. Can it be possible that I'll add it to my resume? Yes, you could. Because that's work. Understand? So again, kapag wala pa kayong work experience, tanggalin yung mismong work experience na part. So ang makikita lang dun ay background, ay educational background, and the others. Pero wala yung work experience. Klein.
Paano po pag small scale po yung work experience, parang for fun po na commissions, ganun po.
What do you mean by for fun? Depende.
Pag free time po is nag-take ng commission jobs.
We have what we call part-time. Kunyari, anong part-time ka?
Ay independent po, parang sa sarili.
You can put it into your skills. Kung hindi siya work experience. Kasi usually, ang work experience, dapat may employer ka. Like that.
Ma'am,
Or
okay,
kunyari, o
okay
kunyari, meron kang business na ikaw yung owner. It could be a work experience.
Opo.
Kung meron kang business and all. Na you're the owner or proprietor and all. Jodeline. Klein, did I
Okay.
answer your question muna pala? Klein, did I answer your question?
Ma'am, ako po yung
Klein, did I answer your question?
medyo po.
Ah.
Ako po yung kuha ng job. Tas,
Oo. Ikaw yung nagkakuha ng job.
opo.
Pero, it could be like, for example, as part of your work experience ay nagkaroon ka ng, kunyari ako, ang work experience ko, di ba teacher ako? Pero ako'y nag-host. Right? Ako'y editor.
So,
Also.
skills pa rin po yun or work experience?
Skills as editor, pero kunyari ako'y in-house host ng Balar. So, that's part of work experience. Na mayroon ako pang trabaho iba. You get what I mean? So, in-house host ako ng Balar, pero kumaga nandun yung sa part ng experience ko. Did you understand? So again, depende depende sa company or depende sa commission thing mo. Pero kung ang commission thing mo is like part-time na hindi naman masyado pang concrete, you can make it as a skill also. As a skill only muna. Okay?
So, pwede po kahit wala pong work experience?
Kahit
Pwede
walang work experience, because we understand that. I understand that. However, I'm looking naman, kung wala kang work experience, ang titirahin ko naman sa iyo ay skills. Gets mo? Doon kita titirahin ng questions. Okay?
Okay po.
Since wala kang background wala kang background working experience. Jodeline, question.
Okay lang po ba, ma'am, sa work experience, ang employer niyo po is sarili niyo pong parent? Kasi po may business po kami, tapos ako po ay pinaghahandle niya po nung tindahan namin na general merchandise minsan. Okay lang po na ang employer po ay mismong parent?
Okay lang yun. No problem with that. Basta dapat,
Opo.
as part ng working, as part nung, dapat may year yun ha? May
Opo.
year. As in, pinapasweldohan kayo na dapat. Ganun ang
Opo.
style nun Okay.
Opo, inasweldahan ako.
Okay, game. So, let's move on. Lumanog, question.
Ma'am, is it appropriate po ba pag maglagay po ng work experience pero hindi po siya ano po, hindi po siya connected dun sa job na na-a-applyan ko po? For example po, may katulad po ng sinabi po ni Jodeline, may business po kami tapos ay ang a-applyan ko po ay kunwari po ay BPO. Pero experience ko po yung business
Okay lang
po.
yan.
Okay lang po.
Okay lang yun. Walang problema doon. Because eventually, please understand that it doesn't mean that you have, a working experience that is different from the work that you're applying for is something that they are not related anymore. Remember, the things that you do, you learn something from it. And through that, how are you going to live that learnings that you have from the work experience that you have, even if they are not related to the core, to the work that you're taking with. Did you understand? Shaina.
Yes po. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, what will I put in my work experience po if I was a tutor before? I mean, there's no company and I have no license at all.
If it's a tutor one, you can make it like as part-time tutor lang. Just write part-time tutor and ilang buwan, ilang taon ka nag-part-time tutor. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Okay.
po.
So, Aureliano, question.
Ma'am, pwede ko pong ilagay sa work experience po yung sa work immersion po, yung ano po namin ng senior high school po. No, 2
What did
years
you do
po.
there?
Nilagay po ako ng teacher ko sa mag-assist po sa isang teacher
How
po.
many months? Pag days lang, anak, we cannot accept that. It should be like months.
2 weeks lang po.
I cannot be kasi 2 weeks lang. But yun, 2 weeks lang kasi. So that's the thing. So make it sure that the work experience that you had is something like months. That's why you do have like the on the job training or if you have a training and all. Okay? Roslyn, question.
Ma'am, how about po dun sa kapag halimbawa po, nakakuha po ako ng NC2 for cookery po, ganun, ma'am.
If
Achievement
you have
po.
that kind, you can put it into skills. Like if
Okay
you're an
po, thank you
NC2 holder like that.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay. Any question? But if I were you, you try to look into part-time jobs, anak. Don't concentrate yourself that you're only into studying and all. You need to have part-time jobs because that's the flexibility of being an English teacher. Being in AB English or Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies. You need to have part-time jobs so that you earn your own money also. Me, way back when I was in high school, I guess, or college, I'm doing tutoring. Tutorial. Now that I am teacher, being a teacher, I do hosting, I do editing. What else? I do hosting, I do editing. I am also organizing. Event organizer, a planner, and all. You need to have all those kinds because you're into communication. You're into English. So if I were you, try to expose yourself, and that's the key. You need to expose yourself with different opportunities. Pag pachupi-chupi kayo, mamamatay kayo, you're not gonna be surviving the Bachelor of Arts in English Language Studies. Because therefore, your exposure would help you to be with, learning opportunities and to be into, a place where you like to be. Understand? Mag-isip kayo kung paano kayo kikita, even if you're just students. Lozano.
Ma'am, how about po dun sa naging staff po ako sa isang resort and nag-left
ka?
po ako ng for about staff po sa isang resort.
Staff sa
halimbawa,
isa.
ma'am, all around, like, I do Tapos dito yung nag-aayos po ng bedding, nagluluto, lahat po, yung all around po.
If it's just a day or two and all,
Part, part,
dapat na-hire ka for a year or for months. Pag hindi siya for a month or
months
for
lang,
a
ma'am.
year, months, you can make it as
Yes
part-time.
po.
Nakalagay part-time, part-time waiter or part-time waitress, like that. Okay?
Yes po.
Okay. Any more question that you would like to ask?
Ma'am, sige ka na po.
Jicana, question.
Ma'am, parang gano'n din po kay Jodeline po.
Oh,
Ako po ay nagtsatiyanggi po kasi kami. May kaunti po akong ukayan po. Pwede po ma'am ilagay ko po yun sa work experience po.
siguro we can have that one for skills.
Okay po.
Kasi unless otherwise, yung meron ka na talagang pangalan yung ukayan mo, you have that DTI license already, we can add it into your work experience. Ibig sabihin, you're from from the bigger entity and you're under the small entity.
Okay po. Thank you po.
Okay. Any more question that you would like to ask? Ningning.
Ano po ma'am, pwede po kaya ilagay sa work experience po yung ano po kasi ako dati bago po ako mag-aral, dati po akong yaya. Pwede ko po kaya ilagay yun sa work experience, saka dati din po akong sales lady, saka nag-service crew din po ako ng halos 3 months sa Muralia.
Pwede naman yon. You put it there. However, ilagay mo lang sa baba yung years. Yung tenuity, yung year kung kailan ka nagsimula o yung kung months. Edi kunyari, May to July 2022. Ganun lang.
Kahit po ma'am hindi siya related dun sa job na gusto ko pong applyan.
Pwede naman yun. Okay lang yun. Pero sa susunod, kapag mag-a-apply na talaga kayo ng normalan and all, talagang ang nilalagay doon talaga is somewhat related. Pero yung iba kasi, like for me, for my other kuyas, they still add it there. They still add the company that they have. They want to indicate there. Yung mga kahit hindi siya related. Katulad ng kapatid ko, he's into Bangko Filipino. And nag-resto din siya, 'di ba? Something like they are not related to each other. Pero ang kanyang course is Bachelor of sa accountancy. So definitely, you need to look into that one also. So again, you can add it. It depends sa iyo eh. Kaya lang ang preg mo na nga nun is paano pag tinanong ka about that work experience. Kasi ang tatanungin lang naman sa iyo nun is like, what have you learned from the work experience of being like that, and how can you apply and be an asset to the company that you're applying for today. Parang ganun ang style nun. Okay?
Thank you po.
Okay. Thank you. Who else? Any question that you would like to ask? So again, ba't hindi nyo kaya i-try? Bakit hindi kayo mag-try ng online teaching? Kung malakas lang super ang net dito sa bahay, I would. Kaya lang, I don't have time anymore. Parang sumasakit ang aking mga katawan. Why don't you try? Kasi yung aking mga estudyante, even if they are just ALS passer, they have taken in already, and then they already have the job in BPO company. Try nyo. Why not? Wala namang masama. I-try nyo lang. Eh, di pag hindi pumasa, okay lang. May nag-aalala naman ako. So, at least you know the process na ganito pala yung nangyayari. Okay? So, we'll now be moving on. So, at this point in time, I'll be presenting you naman an application letter. Okay, so everyone, this is an example of an application letter. So like that. So if you're gonna be looking at it, you start with a date, the name, the inside address, and then this one. That is an example of an application letter. So you start with a greeting, and then the purpose. Sometimes they try to put a good day. With great willingness, I'm applying to be an instructor. So you try to put your background experience, and then after that one is you're going to put your willingness into applying the job, and then of course your greetings also. And of course here, yours sincerely yours, or very truly yours. Both of, I mean, the three of them are informal letter. Question? Do you have any question, everyone? Question? Okay. Now, can we take some realization first on what our discussion for today? Can we hear from Lumano? Lumanog, any realization about our topic for today? Lumanog? Franco, any realization about the discussion today? Franco?
Yes, ma'am. For me naman po, for the employment for communication, I have realized that learning and knowing how to create a resume will help an individual to land to their job, which is they wanted. And also, in order for that, it should be sellable and credible po, and it should be in formal one. And having its advantages to have the fitted job for the employee, it will help them to have a better life in the future and be successful one day po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Franco. Can we have now Ellie Labagis? Labagis? Labagis is not here. Thomas?
Ma'am,
Any
Um,
realization?
my realization is that, ma'am, a resume, my realization is that a resume requires, let's say, certain rubrics or conditions in order to become effective. And so order that you have a higher chance of getting accepted into that specific job you want to apply on. And that you also need to um, have have more work experience, because more work experience means you're more sellable, and as I said, have a higher chance of getting accepted. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Thomas. Jodeline?
For my realization for our discussion today po about the employment communication, I have realized that resume is a tool to sell yourself to the employers. Unlike because there are some people who think that employers should just give them the job when they are hiring people, but a resume is a tool that will help those employers to know if you are qualified for the job, because they analyze the content of your resume. So that is why it is important to consider the even the most simplest detail of your resume. For example, the format, and if it is formal or if it lacks on the formality. And aside from that, I also realized that really at this point in time, as students, it is still new to us or unfamiliar to us to be adjusted, that we really have to accept that we are slowly turning into adults, and eventually we will have to um, face these times in our lives that we really need to consider the career and the job, the path that we need to take. And for us to be prepared to that change in our lives, we need to know how to write a resume and the cover letter, the application letter. And that is why it is important to us to consider every details to make a better impression on the employers that have the possibility to accept us, so we can have a better chance to have a good life in the future po. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jodeline. Um, can we have also realization from Aika? Aika?
Yes, ma'am. So if we truly want to get a job, we should know how to write a proper resume, so that will be able to work in a workforce. As the earlier student said, when getting a job at random, you have to have the needed skills for that job. Not only that, not only the resume, but also when preparing yourself for interview, take note of the proper what do you call this, the proper behavior that you're going to present, so that so there are higher chances for you to get accepted. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Aika. Lay?
Ma'am, the thing that I realized today is that the resume is the bridge between the recruiter and the one applying for the job, because the resume is the one that reaches the table of the recruiter before you do. So it gives them a glimpse of what you can do and what you can offer to the company. And the resume tells more about you, so that the employer can know you before they can accept you into the job.
Okay, thank you so much, Lay. How about Lumanog? Lumanog?
As, as a student po, my realization is our resume is so important in our life, including if we are in the process of being an adult. Resume is a factor to prove and I mean, to introduce yourself to other people. And resume is an important factor to sell yourself, to have the job of in an employer. And my realization is that in resume, including like what Jodelyn says, including the smallest achievement that you've got, you need to put it in the resume, because that's your personal experiences. And um, that in resume, that is how you describe yourself, how you interact with others, and how it affects your job as an employee to what you're applying for. That is my realizations.
Okay, thank you so much, Louisa. So as you see, um, if you're just gonna be looking it into really, I mean, the overview of what we have discussed today, resume is just a piece of document, right? So if you're gonna be looking at it, it's just a piece of paper, but actually it is the total package of you. So in short, whatever you do, I mean, in your college life, during your high school or elementary and all, that is already what is into your resume. So did you understand? So if we have what we call the Bible itself here at employment, that is your Bible. Your Bible, because it summarizes your whole story. So in short, as you are still tiptoeing into your college, try to look into what skills do you need to develop and improve so that you're gonna be sellable. Okay. So at the same time, you will land into a job that is somewhat really, I mean, high paying job, because I know that's your goal also. Do you want to have lots of money? Gusto nyo ba ng pera?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo naman, ma'am.
Right, 'di ba? 'Di ba?
Yes
Tsaka
po.
be, nakakaganda 'pag maraming kwarta. 'Pag walang kwarta, ang pangit-pangit, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that really landing on a good job, I mean a job that has a high paying, it's a high paying job, of course. I will not give you money, I mean a high salary and all, if you doesn't fit and if you do not fit to the job that we are looking for. So in short, now that you are still young, you're still tiptoeing, you're still kumbaga parang sa bangko naglalagay pa kayo ng mga coins and all para mapuno siya and to really to be paper money and all. So try to invest yourself. Invest yourself, invest from your education, and therefore from that investment and long-term investment, you can have a money that you will enjoy. Understand? So again, try to look and try to invest yourself. And from that investment, you can see that one into your resume. Understand? So it's that's why we have what we call nga, 'di ba? I know you're very familiar with the trending one of Penro. Are you familiar with that one or have you heard that one? The 8,500 pesos, and you just I mean, but you need to have the bachelor's degree and all like that, and you need to have the license of and all. So because if you're going to be looking at it, the range of emotions of people are like that, because I mean, finishing the 4 years degree of a certain bachelor's degree are not really as easy as you think, right? So you have the first sem, and that first sem already is something like breathtaking already. So investing yourself from the education is more of really a tiresome job, not only I mean for efforts but also for money. And of course, so again, I do remind you na since you are already into the I mean making yourself to be a professional one, kailangan really you need to invest yourself with knowledge and skills so that when you go out from Marinduque State College, you are already ready. Kasi pag hindi kayo ready, ang ending ninyo ay yaya. O kaya, but Jaya is a noble job, hindi ko nilalang lang ang yaya. Pero, ang ending ninyo ay yaya, ang ending ninyo ay maglulukad and all. Kasi, you don't have any options. Unlike if you finish the degree, you have lots of options. Kaya ngayon ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, you should not only finish the degree, but you need to expose yourself with different opportunities. Kaya dapat, since you're BAELs, you need to be good in communication, you need to be good in terms of handling people, you need to be good in terms of the documents, because that's the goal of your college. I mean, that's the goal of your course. You need to invest yourself with skills, and therefore you create opportunities. Understand? So everyone, that would be all for the discussion of our class for today. But I will be asking you to have first the graded recitation, which is about telling about yourself. So telling about yourself is one of the I mean part of the interview, the job interview. So we'll be back after 5 minutes. I mean 10 minutes to craft yourself. Who will I mean about the telling about yourself. So for example, I am an interviewer, and then I will ask you, tell me about yourself in terms of your job into how are you gonna deal with that. So again, after 10 minutes, I'll be calling you one by one to tell about yourself. Okay? So that's for your performance activity for today.